We'll get it. All right. I think I got Alex. You're in here with me on this.
I believe so.
Good man. All right. You know, I hear Jim's comments about, we're targeting and, a player's going to be disqualified. He may be sitting out some of the next week's games too. Key thing to it is that we do want to use when in doubt for player safety. But we're seeing an awful lot of inconsistency from when the original targeting rule came in, and how it was called to how it's being called, and even how replay is handling it now. When targeting first came in, the basic philosophy on targeting was take Superman out of the game. We were trying to stop that player who was flying through the air, taking out a pass receiver, a punt return player, a quarterback in passing posture. Those were the key ones that we were trying to eliminate from the game. And obviously it's evolved more. There seems to be more crown of the helmet type situations. The blindside block rule has come in too, that protects more players. But here's the key thing I want to leave you with on targeting is that don't feel sorry for the guy that did it. If you've got it and it's targeting, he's disqualified himself from the game. You haven't disqualified him. He's disqualified himself. The player he hit may not be playing next week either. So it's important for us to realize that this type of play in the game of tackle football has to go away. And we need to be enforcers of that. We've got some plays here. And as we go through these plays, I think maybe, was there, Alex, about 5 of them, 5 or 6?
I believe there's 5. Yeah. We're going to look at them 2 different ways. Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead and explain that, how we're going to look at the video.
So we've kind of, Bill and I discussed this topic when we decided to present it. And I think the approach we took is a little interesting one. Is first, we're going to deal with targeting as on-field officials. We're going to take these 5 plays. We're going to show it to you. We're going to be nice. We're going to show it to you twice at full speed. And then I believe Davey has a poll that is going to come up. And we're just going to ask you to vote whether it is targeting or not for those 5 plays. As Davey has alluded to, these are anonymous polls. We just want to get a sense of what you would call as an on-field official as to whether these are targeting or not. I'm just going to give you the live feed in full speed. We're going to show it to you twice, and we'll discuss that. And then we're going to take those same 5 plays and we're going to bring in all the angles and work them as we would if we were the video judge in those situations, and see where our rulings on the field may be a little bit different from evidence that can be presented by the video judge.
Just let me know, Alex, when you want me to run the poll.
Sure. I think if we start the video a little bit, Bill, I think we've put the excerpt here from the rule book as to what targeting is in the IFAF definition of that. Here, if we stop that here, and this is from the on-field officiating perspective, we have 913 and we have 914. 913, which is the crown of the helmet, requires no component of defenseless player. This is applicable to anybody on the field of play. If you make forcible contact with the crown of the helmet, and we all know that the crown of the helmet has been amended, as you can see there in the blue text, as the 6-inch radius from the apex to the top of the helmet. This is due to some of those sophisticated designs now in helmets that the face mask is probably an integrated part of the helmet. So they've adjusted that to be the 6-inch part of the helmet. And then 914, which requires there to be forcible contact to the head or neck area or above the shoulders of the defenseless player. So those are the 2. So the first thing we have to identify as an on-field official is which one of the 2 buckets does it fall into, and do we have an indicator of targeting? And obviously, once you have those components, then you can make your decision. So unless you got anything else to add to Bill, then I think it's going to jump straight into our plays here. Davey, if you want to throw up the poll here, stop this for a second. Here's number 1. And again, you are just vote for this as to whether it is targeting or whether it is not targeting, as if you were making the decision as an on the field official. So
okay, I'll put the poll up once the play's over, Alex.
All right, let it roll. Again, you're going to get 2 looks. They're just the live feeds, no replays, because that's the only look you get on the field. It'll be nice and let you see it twice. All right, you want to put that down? Let's see what we got. And close. All right, a couple more seconds there, but looks like we got a 65-35 ratio more or less on this one. So we'll discuss these as we move into the replay segment of it, but we're just taking numbers for now. So if you want to clear this poll out, and we'll move on to the next one.
All right, we got it. Let's see if we can get that to disappear. All right, here we go.
Again, play number 2. You as the on-field official, vote 1 for targeting, vote 2 for no foul. And away we go. Okay. Open the poll up. Slightly more defined opinion on this one, looks like. All right, looks like we have our answer. Let's close this one down and move on to play number 3. Again, 1 for targeting, 2 for no foul.
Can we see those results, Alex? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, ready to go on? All right, looks like we're done with that poll.
Yep. Looks like we're done with this one. Let's move on to the next. I believe this is the last one. All right. Let's vote on that. $70-30. All right. So those were the 5 plays we asked you to rule on. From an on-field perspective, looks like of all the plays, we really had one play that was by majority consensus one way or the other. We've had mostly 65-35s. We had one play that was 50, close enough to 50-50, and one close enough to 70-30. So even with the on-field officials, there's doubt on the majority of these situations. So assuming that being said, all of these plays, if you had the capability of video replay, would have gone to the video judge for a ruling, or they would have been stopped by the video judge for the potential to have a targeting foul created. So let's look at what that is, and the criteria for making that ruling is on the screen there if you are operating as the video judge in an IFAF contest. The one big difference that you have that the NCAA removed a couple of years ago is you have the ability to allow the ruling to stand. And I understand that, obviously the technology in most cases in the NCAA is going to be better. The equipment is standardized equipment, and you have the ability to manipulate the video as far as reversing it, fast forwarding it, the slow motion at your control. You may not have that ability, and you may just be getting feeds from the TV company, and they're going to slow it down or speed it up for you at their discretion, and you don't have the ability to control it. So I think it's important that you do have the ability to allow the ruling to stand. So we'll take these same 5 plays, and now we'll open them up for a little bit of discussion. And they're in the same order that we voted on them as on-field officials, but now we're just going to look at them as we would be ruling in the booth with regards to these plays. So the first one, for your reference, the ruling on the field is targeting. So flag does come down on this for targeting. The vote amongst the crowd earlier as the on-field officials was 65% in favor of this being targeting. 35% of you said there was no targeting on display. So now we're going to start opening up some angles here to take a look at it. Certainly there's an indicator here. I think if you're an on-field official, particularly if you're a deep wing, you certainly have an indicator. You have the launch, you have the Superman, as Bill alluded to earlier in the conversation. I think this is clearly should have your antenna up with regards to potential targeting. If there's any doubt on your mind here, I think this is one of those that you rule it on the field as targeting. As we look at this a little bit closer, and I'll let Bill make a comment on it too. I think we've checked all the boxes here. I think you have 913. I think you have 914. I think it's take your pick. And I believe, Bill, you were at this game with the Kirkharp Street and the guys there, and they told you this one checked all the boxes as far as targeting was concerned. And I think they're right. I think this is a pretty quick confirm if you're the video judge, if you have these angles available to you. He's certainly a defenseless player. He's a receiver in the act of making a catch. Clearly you have 914, and you can debate if you have 913 with the crown of the helmet, but you clearly have 914. But this is the act that is intended to be removed from the game, in my opinion.
Right. And and the key thing on it is after looking at it from a couple different angles, no matter what type of call it is, if you had it right, Did you have it right for the right reasons? And if you didn't have it for targeting and you're seeing these views here, can you understand why it is ruled targeting? And any adjustment you'd have to make from there. So that's the key thing if you're going to learn from the shot.
Okay. Our second play here on the list, the ruling on the field is targeting as well. And we'll take a look at the line field really quick on it. Then I'll make a comment on it. 92% of us felt that there was no targeting on this play. And then 8% of us, as on-field officials, ruled that this was targeting. You'll notice from the video feed here that the flag comes in awfully late with regards to targeting. And I'm not sure that there was a doubt in the mind of the deep official, particularly I think the back judge here who threw it, and he just threw it to let replay take a look at it, but that's not the intent. You know, I've always been taught by Bill, if you know the call, you make the call. I don't know that you've got enough of the in the doubt principle here, but if replay has a look at it, let them stop the game and create it rather than throw it. You're talking about affecting somebody's playing time. But as we open the looks, is there an indicator? Maybe you can say he lowers his shoulder to go after the player. I'm not sure there's a thrust or an upward force there. I'm not sure if it's two guys that just run into each other. He's certainly a defenseless player by rule, but I'm not sure that the element of forcible contact exists on that one. And I believe this one was correctly overturned to no targeting on the field. So if you know the call, you make the call. I understand why the back judge did it. Too many of us at the NCAA level are using replay as a crutch, and we'll throw it and let them fix it upstairs. I think particularly, especially at your level, at the IFAF level, this is one of the few fouls that affects playing time. So if you know the call, you make the call. If you're in doubt, let the video judge, if you have the option of or the availability of replay, get in there and stop this to look at it if they need to, rather than you put it down and they may not have an angle and then they have to stay with your ruling that you made on a whim to let them fix it upstairs. Anything else on that one, Bill?
Yeah, I would just say too that if you've got the flag and you know you had doubt on the play and another official comes into you, and it isn't necessarily that he's questioning or criticizing your call, but he wants to know what did you see that I didn't? Don't be afraid to say, I think, or I thought, because if he can definitely tell you why it wasn't targeting from his angle, you can recognize that you had doubt on the play and you pick your flag up. Forget replay. You take care of it. You know?
I was going to say, we've actually got explicitly in our mechanics that if you've thrown a flag for targeting, you ought to go and find someone else to talk to about it.
Excellent.
They may not have seen it at all, but the act of you talking to someone else about it might clarify it in your mind, and they might see something that either increases the chances that you were right or gives you some information that allows you to wave the flag off.
Yeah, and again, it's recognizing if you had doubt. If you had to doubt and they can give you some clear information, then pick your flag up. If you're 200% sure of it, but nothing they said can change your mind or change this situation, then you're staying with your call. And that. So, but again, I like that you've got it in the mechanics manual to one flag down. We'll have a conversation.
Yeah, I do too. So we go on to our third play. Again, the ruling on the field here for the third one was targeting. So there was a flag down for this one. This is where you can't be complacent because it almost appears that this is the quarterback throwing the ball away out of the back of the end zone. But the back judge is right on top of it, immediately puts the flag down. So at least he's demonstrating that he doesn't have any doubt in his mind, whether he's right or wrong, that he has targeting. So he's been very demonstrative about his call on the field. So he's got it. He's sending it upstairs to take a look at it, obviously, because we have the ability to do so. If you have the video judge in here, he sticks with the play. As I said, it's not just a throwaway, but the receiver is in the act of making a catch. He is defenseless. You do have an indicator because 22 leaves his feet in an attempt to punish number 18. And whether 18 is going down or not, 22 does make contact above the shoulder, forcible contact above the shoulder. This is a good look here. Lowers his head. There's your indicator. And drives into him to punish him. One more look at it. He's lining him up. And you can debate whether he gets him hard or not, but he's clearly a defenseless player, and he's clearly protected by rule, and you clearly have contact to the head or neck area of the defenseless player.
Well, so, I'm going to stop you there, Alex. This was reversed by replay.
Yeah, I know it was. Yeah.
And the ruling is that he as close as he was to the head. We don't see the head turn or snap from that any contact. It's into the shoulder inside.
Into the shoulder, right.
There's a gap there that, and there's no snap of the head. So do you have targeting or not targeting?
They say no.
Now, I agree with the no call that it's not targeting. But I can understand the back judge throwing it from his angle because he can't see the player being hit. He can't see his head. And that. So this was made one that's made for a replay situation.
Yep. And we had 65-35 favor of no targeting from our vote. So play 4, there was no call on the field. This was an initiated booth review. So we'll take a look at this one. Seems like a good tackle from the line feed. But when you have the video judge available to you, and I think it's a good no call on the field by any of the officials, but I also think it's a good decision by the folks upstairs to take a look at it. The question here is 9-1-3. I mean, he is also a defenseless receiver, but it appears that what we're taking a look at is whether he's drive the crown of the helmet into the chest of the defender. Clearly dips. And makes forcible contact with the crown of the helmet. We had a 65-35 no vote. We had this one was the close one. This one was 56-44. So this is the old 50-50 play. Remember those, Bill, when we first had targeting? Wasn't called on the field. Went upstairs. I believe they turned us into targeting, if I remember correctly. And
yes, they went crown of the helmet. Yeah,
crown of the helmet. I think we saw a comment there. I think I saw a comment there really quick about intent to harm. You want to address that, Bill? What about the intent to harm? I'm not sure that we're in the business to judge that.
Nope, I'm not getting into intent to harm. I mean, the player doing it, especially with the crown of the helmet, he's endangering himself as much as he's endangering the other player. The compression to the neck, is unbelievable that type of a hit can do. So the players have to work hard at keeping their head up or to the side on these situations. That's a choice. These players are gifted athletes. They can make those decisions in a split second.
Absolutely. And our last one here from the semifinal, this was a no call on the field. Again, an initiated booth review. And our poll earlier said we were in favor of targeting 70-30 as on-field official. This is a busted play from the beginning. You got quarterback in distress. He kind of shovels the ball out there. Guys going down to the ground already. no call. Gets sent upstairs to take a look at it. Clearly you have the dip, so I understand why replay is taking a look at it. They probably are taking, once they've opened this up also, and I'll ask the question of Jim, but after we deal with the targeting part of it, he clearly dips. And obviously they're looking at 913 here because he is a runner at this point. So only thing that he can be guilty of is 913, the defender. He clearly dips his head. And the question is, does he get him from the side first, or does he make contact straight into him with the crown of the helmet? And I'll let Bill comment his thoughts on that one. An interesting play. It also does open up the other aspect, which I'll ask Jim about once we're done with the targeting part. Does he get him with the shoulder first, or does he get him with the crown of the helmet first?
The interesting thing on this, obviously, wasn't called on the field. It was a 4th down play.
Yep.
And it comes up short of the line of game. It has the ramification too, though this isn't why you should make your targeting call or not. But if they rule no targeting, the ball's turning over to TCU. If they rule a targeting call, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end of this run with an automatic first down. Yep. And I think that what was there was a 15 seconds or 10 seconds left in the game. Yep. So possible influencer here, but your decision for targeting or not targeting doesn't rely on, is this a close game or not? But obviously has another impact on the game besides the player safety. So getting the call right is the critical thing. 70-30 was our poll here. Yep. As I've talked to replay officials around the country on this call, it's probably about 70-30 that believe this is targeting also. However, most of the replay officials said it's probably, since replay initiated this, nobody was batting an eye about it live during the game or on TV on the game until replay shut it down. So replay, did they create the controversy over this call or not? If they'd have left it alone and not done anything. Obviously the offense thinks they caught the short end of it, not getting a targeting call. Would they have even batted an eye if replay hadn't got involved? Again, your job, whether you're the on-field official or replay, I don't care what you personally think about whether I get involved or not. That's my job. So if you're the replay official and you feel you have to get involved in this play, you get involved in it and make your call.
Interesting point about this play also being a 4th down, Bill. And I know it was a busted play from the beginning. We had a fumbled snap, then a lineman that recovered it, pitched it to the original quarterback. He kind of shovels it off. So they may have opened the review for the fact, does he get that pass off before his knee has touched the ground? But as we know, once you open the review, all aspects of the play become reviewable. And I assume that's the same policy in IFAF, Jim.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So even if you go after whether the knee was down or not, you really can put that review to rest pretty quickly. Once if you rule targeting, you don't need to worry about whether you got that pass off or not anymore.
Well, I'm gonna throw a what if in here on this. All right. Let's say you review it and you say, his knee was down. He didn't get the pass off in time. And now you also are looking at this and saying, ooh, that's targeting. Okay. Yep. Is the targeting a live ball foul now or a dead ball foul?
The great debate.
Yeah. Technically, you have a dead ball foul because you ruled that the play's dead back where the pass was pitched.
Yep.
So,
yeah, you can't give Team A the benefit of yardage that they gained after the runner's knee was down.
Exactly. It's no different if he ran out of bounds, So the bottom line to it is that the ball would turn over and then the penalty would be enforced and you'd come back 15 yards with a 1st and 10 for TCU, the team in white.
Yep.
But
I think this one would have been looked at one way or the other, being it was 4th down play and you had that shovel pass close to him going to the ground. So they may have started looking at the shovel pass and then found the targeting. But that's what happens when you have the benefit of the video replay and the video judge. All aspects of the play become reviewable. Also, a note that you may want to throw in there is that let's assume this play was not stopped by video review and it was challenged by one of the teams. If they challenge the fact that he was down before he threw the pass, it still opens the player to review for all aspects of review, and you could still have targeting, and he could still lose his challenge if you deem that the pass was released prior to him being down, and still have targeting added on. At least in the NCAA, I believe that the same would hold true in IFAF, right, Jim?
Yeah, well, I was just going to emphasize that when you say all aspects of the play can be reviewed, if this is in the last 2 minutes of the game, that includes anything that could be a 5 or 10 yard penalty as well as targeting. So
interesting play. So hope you enjoyed that. I think overall we're getting better at targeting, but I think we need to tighten it up, as Jim alluded to in his presentation, and Bill as well. I think we need to be definitive about the calls we make as on-field officials. If we know it's targeting, let's put our marker down and make it targeting. If we have the benefit of replay, let them create the fouls that we're unsure of. Or if we put the flag down, let's have a conversation like Jim alluded to, and allow ourselves to be at least open to the conversation from our crewmates. If you decide to stick with a call, it's your call in the end, but at least be receptive to the comments of your crewmate that they may have had a better angle, or if you had any doubt, when somebody comes in to talk you out of it, you're probably going to want to pick that up. As far as targeting is concerned, I don't know if you got any other closing thoughts on that, Bill.
No, I think you hit it on the head. The thing from this poll that we did today on these 5 plays is we need to communicate. We need to talk as a crew when one of these play situations happens. We've got to get together. Again, if you got doubt, put it on the table. If you've got clear information, stress it. So, when it's 60, 65, 35, 35, 65, 44, 56, 70, 30 out of 4 of the 5 plays. We need to have some conversation.
Yeah, and what it says to me is that if we need replay to help us out this much, we're in a tough place when we make official calls on the field. All we can do is do our best. I think I can't remember exactly what the statistics are from NCAA, but I did see them, that the number of targeting calls that were both called on the field and supported by replay is only about 20 or 30%. The rest, they were either missed on the field or they were missed by replay. Replay got them wrong. We're in a tough game here. Even with replay, you're not guaranteed to get it right. But that's just something we have to live with.
Okay. Well,
we earn the big bucks.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, thanks very much, Alex. Thanks very much, Bill, for that.